Hello, this is Julie. Welcome into the Thrifty Paper Garden. Well, it's June 3rd, and we still have seen very little sign of summer. Still a lot of rain and overcast, and highs in the 60s. I'm very anxious for summer, of course. I have not been doing any shopping due to some financial difficulties, but on Memorial Day, I received some money and I took my daughters to the local thrift store. They were having 50% off everything in the store, and the girls wanted to replenish their clothing supply for college. So we went, and some of these things are from the thrift store and some of them are from some garage sales. So the first thing that I found was this Mary Engelbright 2013 calendar, and I just really like the graphics, and there's still over 6 months left of usable calendar, so I'll use that probably in my children's books or greeting cards. I also found these cards that I can use in children's books dealing with colors and shapes. And I found some wood dominoes. It's hard to see the pattern, but it's kind of an interesting dot pattern on it. And I didn't have anything like that. And I also found some old flashcards. They're quite thick, so I thought that would be a nice item to have to craft with. And then I found this paper ribbon that has herbs on it, and I didn't know if I would use it for flowers or when I give my herbs away, maybe cut out a little label with this ribbon. So I was intrigued by the possibilities. Then I found this Gloria Vanderbilt box. I'm sure some cosmetics or something came in it, and it has an embossed cover. And I just thought that would be nice to be able to see through and see if you have ribbons or different things displayed. So I thought it was worth a look at. It was only 50 cents. Then I found a whole bunch of these bagged together. They're from My Mind's Eye from, I think, 2002. But they're just kind of embellishment kind of things that are flat. Just some fun. There's several different lines. This one's old is new. And they have precious metals. There's just a bunch of kind of neat graphics and pictures to use. And again, they'd be use embellishments without adding any bulk to a project. And this was a nice refill book. It has several pages, and I thought I could make a journal out of that. And I believe I got that for $1, and the price on it was $15.99, and it's in perfect condition. You could put some ribbon or something like that through the holes to decorate it up. So I thought that would be fun. I also found some Gibson inspirational greeting cards, and I don't have a date on it, but you can tell that they're old. There were several cards in there, and I just really appreciated the verse and the graphics. So I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with those, but they were just nice. And I found some books. This was printed in 1944, and I work in the medical field, and this book is a story of hospital intrigue, of love and jealousy that killed, and of mysterious K who kept his surgical background a secret until a shooting forced his hand. I just thought it would be interesting to see what kind of mystery they write about. And here's some fun graphics on the back, and pages are aged wonderfully. So I'll have to give that a read. And another book that caught my eye that was written in 1935, I believe this is Spanish, and it looks like a girl's crafting book. And it, has in Spanish, but what really caught my eye when I flipped through was this little picture, and it's kind of peeling off, but I thought if I could make copies of that. That is just adorable and perfectly aged. Some fancy writing on there that's faded over time, but I just thought that in itself was worth the $1.25 I paid for the book. And then I found some lace. I particularly got this lace because I don't have this peachy apricot type color in my collection. And another bag had some interesting pieces. Hadn't seen anything like that before. This one had some gold in it. And then I think these are older pieces. It seems like whenever you see a tag like that, that tends to be a more vintage piece. And I'm not sure if this is tatted. It's almost too fine to be crocheted. And then there's this little piece as well. But just nice off-white faded color. And then I found some black tulle, and it's like the size of a baby blanket. I don't know if it's a tablecloth or what exactly it is, but it has several of these flowers in it. So I'll see what I can do with that. Then I found a sheer curtain that had this beautiful applique on it. So a couple yards of that type of applique. And I believe it's a tablecloth. Just kind of some neat things on there. Let's see what I can do with that. And also a bunch of this beautiful fabric that is embroidered or crewel work or whatever that is considered. Is probably machine stitched on there, but actual stitching. So that was, it's got a nice little edge here. So that was some nice fabric. And then I found this book, and I didn't get it for, the fact that it's kind of an organizer and has a neat little pop-up thing. It does have addresses that it comes out. I thought that might be kind of a neat addition to a mini album or a project. But what caught my eye, and for the price of a whopping 35 cents, got some airmail envelopes. So I thought those would be fun to use in a travel album or any different ways to use it. So I don't know even why I opened it up, because otherwise it just looked like an organizer that I certainly didn't need, but I opened it up and there they were. And then some hair rubber things that have these cute little plastic flowers of different sizes, and maybe even could find a use for the beads. And had some cute little rabbit figurines. Make a little scene inside of a little box or something. And I found these look kind of old. Flannel board holly cutouts. I got several packages of those. Kind of stiff felt. So I don't know, I was kind of thinking maybe making a wreath or the leaves behind some poinsettias. So that was kind of a interesting find that got my mind working. So I think that's about it for the thrift store and garage sales. And then for after Memorial Day, my mom took my daughters and I away for a couple days, and we had a girls' outing, and we stayed in a wonderful bed and breakfast. And on our way, we stopped at Laura Ingalls Wilder Museum that's in Burr Oak, Iowa. And that was kind of fun. My husband read the Little House on the Prairie books to my daughters when they were little. So that was fun to visit there. And we did some sightseeing that day, and it was kind of overcast and chilly. Well, the next day we were going to go to this cave that has some wonderful geological, like stalagmites and stalactites and all that stuff. But when we woke up in the morning, and I said, well, who wants to go into a cold, damp cave, or should we go to Rochester and go shopping? Well, since we were tired of being cold and wet, and I was driving, guess where we went? So we stopped at a Big Lots, and I found these 5 heart charms. That was a good deal for $1. Some beautiful sage-colored pearls. They're kind of luminescent, just real pretty. And this is an old K & Company tag book. But it has nice, bright, springy summer colors. And I thought this would be good for my children's books. The alphabet in train cars. And this was kind of interesting. There's sticky journal something or other, but there's 3 different types, 36 in total. But wish you were here, postcard, airmail, destination, that'd be like a luggage tag. And this is an old one, but it had clearanced it down to 50 cents. And I'm pretty well done with my kids' school albums. Put a little school mini, and I've got, someday I'm going to have grandkids, I hope, so, for 50 cents. And then there's this from Crate Paper. I had never seen these phrase stickers before, but just kind of some neat patterns and sayings and colors. So for $1, I thought that would be fun. And just one thing at Kohl's, this bracelet was on clearance, but it's a bunch of metal, fairly heavy metal birds. And I could see them sitting in a birdhouse or in a nest. So I use quite a bit of jewelry, charms, and that kind of stuff in my crafting. So I always check out the clearance section at Kohl's, because you can find some neat charms there. And then we stopped at TJ Maxx, I believe it was, and I just found this typewriter napkin on clearance. I hadn't seen this one before. And it seems like typewriters are still a popular thing. And then, let's see, Tuesday morning, a couple things that I hadn't seen in the Tuesday morning near me. it looked almost like an olive green or such, but the label says gold dots. So the background, I guess, is supposed to be dots, but it's glimmery, shimmery. And this one is from Seven Gypsies, kind of a neat collage. There's several pages of that. And that was only $1.99, so that was nice. And then just those little stamps. And then they had their stamp abilities, and there was another brand that were 50% off, and these kind of neat stamps, and they were only normally $1.99, so I was able to get them for $1 a piece. But this one says, some people strengthen others just by being the kind of person they are. I thought that would be a wonderful sentiment for a card, and because I love to sew. That was a nice stamp. And then we stopped at the Hobby Lobby, where I had taken a road trip to in March, and I did not want to take advantage of my mother's generosity, so I just quickly went to the clearance section, and they actually had some fairly nice things on a good deal of clearance. And here is 6 domino stamps. It was originally $3.49, marked down to $1.25. And this Cartabella patterned note cards. They're real nice, heavy cardstock. There's 8 of them. And every once in a while you need a quick card, and this would, I thought, especially the striped and the ornaments and the tree, would be a quick backdrop to make a card. So that is my collective haul. So I feel so blessed to have been able to do this, and we had a wonderful time with my daughters and my mom. So thanks for stopping by. We'll see you later. Bye.